All right, so are you ready to go deep on Jason X?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
This one is,
Buckle up.
yeah, buckle up. This one is a total trip.
Right.
We are going from Camp Crystal Lake to outer freaking space.
Outer space, Jason.
It's going to be wild. So you guys shared some excerpts with me about this film, and we're going to break down how Jason went from hockey mask to spacesuit.
That's right. Yeah. It's really interesting how this film takes that classic slasher villain and throws him into this totally new environment. You know, it forces us to look at Jason in a whole different light.
Totally. And it raises the stakes in such a crazy way.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought he was unstoppable in a summer camp.
Right.
But now we're talking spaceships and cyborgs.
Yeah, right off the bat.
It's crazy.
The movie sets up Jason as this almost mythical force.
Yeah.
We start in 2008.
Okay.
And the government is like desperately trying to contain him. They're throwing everything they got at him.
Yeah.
But nothing works.
I feel like they're kind of confirming in that opening scene what fans have always suspected.
Totally.
That Jason is essentially immortal.
Yeah, he's indestructible.
Yeah.
A force of nature.
Yeah, and this really sets the stage for the insane premise of this film.
It does.
So then we fast forward.
Fast forward.
Over 400 years to 2455.
Wow.
Earth is a wasteland.
It's all polluted.
Yeah, and humanity has fled to Earth.
To Earth. To a better place.
A better place, hopefully. But of course, what's a sci-fi horror movie without a field trip back to the abandoned, danger-filled Earth?
You gotta go back.
You gotta go back.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta see what's there.
Okay, so who had Jason takes on space travelers on their bingo card for this movie?
Not me.
Because I definitely did not see that coming.
I know, but it's so good.
It's so good.
Such a good premise.
So we've got this group of students who make this brilliant decision to explore a derelict research facility on a planet that's basically been declared a toxic dump.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Let's go.
Let's check it out.
And they stumble upon...
What do they find?
You guessed it.
Jason frozen.
Frozen solid.
But definitely not out of the picture.
The way they find him, too, it's like classic horror movie setup.
Yeah.
They come across this cryogenic chamber.
Uh-oh.
And it's like, don't open that.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And of course they open it.
Of course.
Curiosity and bad decisions. A horror movie staple.
It's like a rule.
It's like you have, and not only do they find Jason,
right,
but there's another person in there, Rowan.
Rowan.
Also frozen.
Frozen as well.
They bring both of them back to their spaceship, the Grendel.
Oh, no.
It's a big spaceship.
It's a huge spaceship.
Yeah. So it's that decision, that one moment of scientific curiosity that unleashes the chaos of the entire film.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the film doesn't waste any time. Once they're on board that ship, things go from 0 to 100 real fast.
Jason does not just wake up and yawn.
No, he does not.
He goes on a rampage.
A full-on rampage. And it is brutal.
Brutal.
One of the first kills happens in the ship's morgue.
Oh, yeah, I remember that scene.
Jason grabs a surgical tool, and let's just say it is a very creative use of medical equipment.
Yeah, it's gruesome.
It's very gruesome.
But it's also incredibly clever, the way he incorporates the futuristic setting into his kills. He takes these everyday objects from the ship, things we wouldn't normally associate with weapons,
right,
and turns them into instruments of death.
Yes, and he's not just using them, he's adapting.
He is.
It's almost like he's learning, evolving.
Right. It's like he's...
It's very creepy.
Yeah, like in that scene where he uses liquid nitrogen to, well, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it makes for a chilling visual.
Seriously chilling. It's one of those kills that's so over the top, so uniquely Jason,
it is,
that you can't help but laugh.
You just gotta laugh.
It's horror mixed with this dark, absurd humor.
They're great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the body count starts to climb pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And the tension on the ship is palpable.
Oh, yeah.
You're constantly wondering who's going to be next and how Jason's going to use his surroundings to pull off these increasingly creative kills.
Right, and then comes the spaceship crash.
Oh, yeah.
The Grendel slams into a space station.
I love that part.
It is pure chaos.
It's so much chaos.
Yeah.
But amidst all the wreckage and mayhem,
Jason
manages to find something very familiar.
What's that?
His trusty machete.
Oh, that's his favorite.
It is that moment when he picks up that machete is like a declaration.
Oh, yeah.
It's game on.
Game over.
Yeah, and for the survivors, things just went from bad to worse.
Absolutely.
Right. We thought things were bad when he was improvising with surgical tools.
Right.
Now he's back to his signature weapon, and he's not holding back.
Nope, he's not holding back.
So the film is a whirlwind of action and suspense from that point on.
Yeah.
But then it throws a curveball.
A big curveball.
Something that truly elevates the film into this bizarre, almost sci-fi epic.
What could that be?
Oh, yeah. We haven't even gotten to the best part. Jason's cyborg transformation.
Oh my God.
Buckle up, because things are about to get even wilder.
Even wilder. I can't wait.
I know.
So this is where the movie really goes full sci-fi horror.
Oh, yeah.
Jason gets blasted apart, literally obliterated, and then rebuilt as a cybernetic killing machine. Talk about an upgrade.
It is quite the upgrade.
Yeah.
It's like they took everything that made Jason terrifying
Yeah.
and amplified it tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got the hockey mask, the machete, that relentless pursuit.
Yeah.
But now he's faster, stronger, basically indestructible.
Yeah. And the design is incredible.
Oh, the design is so cool.
The way they blend that classic Jason look
Yeah.
with these futuristic cybernetic enhancements,
Yeah.
it's both familiar and completely unsettling.
Totally agree. He looks like a walking nightmare.
He does.
Like something ripped straight out of a heavy metal album cover.
Yes. And this new Jason, this Uber Jason,
Jason.
leads to one of the most visually spectacular sequences in the entire franchise. The final showdown between him and KM-14.
Well, that fight scene is epic.
It is.
KM-14, the android who's been upgraded with serious combat capabilities,
Yeah.
goes toe-to-toe with Jason in this zero-gravity
I
battle.
love that.
It's like watching a futuristic gladiator match
Yeah.
with lasers and explosions and some seriously brutal choreography.
And the sound design is amazing.
Oh, yeah. The sound design is excellent in this film.
It's a visual feast, and it really highlights the contrast between these two forces.
Mhm.
You have Jason, this embodiment of primal rage and relentless brutality,
Yeah.
up against this sleek, technologically advanced android.
It's cool. And what's interesting is that KM-14 isn't just a mindless killing machine.
Right.
Throughout the film, we see hints of something more.
Mm-hmm.
There's this sense that she's evolving, developing a kind of artificial consciousness.
Yeah, there's that scene where she's interacting with the students,
Yeah.
and you can almost sense a flicker of empathy,
Right.
a connection forming. Yeah.
And that makes her sacrifice at the end all the more impactful.
Yes.
She chooses to fight Jason knowing she'll likely be destroyed
Mm-hmm.
to give the others a chance to escape.
Such a powerful moment. It's a surprisingly emotional moment in a movie that's also filled with over-the-top kills and sci-fi mayhem.
Right.
It shows that even in this futuristic setting with cyborgs and spaceships,
Yeah,
there's still room for human connection, for selflessness.
for sure. And then we get that ending.
The ending.
That incredible, ambiguous ending.
There you go.
Jason and Sergeant Brodsky fighting each other all the way plunge into the atmosphere of Earth,
It's so intense.
seemingly burning up on entry,
Mm.
but then down on the planet's surface, we see two teenagers by a lake,
I love that part.
and a shooting star streaks across the sky, and then Jason's mask slowly sinks to the bottom of the lake.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness.
It's like the filmmakers are saying, we're not telling you what happens next. You decide.
Did Jason survive that fiery descent? Is he lurking somewhere in the depths of that lake, waiting to rise again?
Oh, it's so good. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It leaves the audience with this lingering sense of dread,
Yeah,
this uncertainty that's more terrifying than any definitive answer could be.
for sure.
It taps into our primal fear of the unknown,
Uh-huh.
the idea that something is out there lurking just beyond our sight.
And it's such a perfect ending for a movie that's all about pushing boundaries, subverting expectations.
Absolutely.
You think you know what's going to happen, and then Jason X throws you a curveball.
Every time.
Yeah, it takes the familiar and makes it strange.
Better.
It takes the ridiculous and makes it terrifying.
Exactly. It's a movie that knows how to have fun, but it also knows how to get under your skin.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wild ride from beginning to end, and it leaves you thinking about it long after the credits roll.
So as we're wrapping up our deep dive into this crazy sci-fi slasher flick,
Mm-hmm.
what are your overall thoughts? What are some of the things that stuck with you?
You know, for me, I think it's the sheer audacity of the film.
Yeah.
It's so over the top,
It is.
so willing to embrace the absurdity of its premise that
Yeah.
you can't help but be entertained.
Right.
And it works because beneath all the gore and the sci-fi spectacle, there's a real understanding of what makes Jason Voorhees such an enduring horror icon.
Totally. They didn't just throw Jason into space for a cheap gimmick.
No.
They thought about how he would operate in that environment, how he would evolve, how he would continue to terrify.
And I think it's also worth mentioning the humor.
Yes.
This movie is genuinely funny,
It is.
both intentionally and unintentionally.
Yeah.
There are some great one-liners, some ridiculous situations, and moments where you just have to laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all.
It's like the filmmakers are winking at the audience saying, we know this is crazy, but come on, it's fun, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's a big part of what makes Jason X so enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not afraid to have fun with its premise.
Yeah.
And it never takes itself too seriously.
Absolutely. It's a movie that's self-aware, but it also delivers on the scares and the thrills. It's a perfect blend of horror, sci-fi, and dark humor.
Now, I have to ask, how would you rate Jason X? On a scale of 1 to 5, how many hockey masks would you give it?
That's a tough one.
I know.
It's not a perfect film, but it's definitely one of the most entertaining entries in the franchise.
Blech.
I'd have to give it a solid 4 out of 5 hockey masks.
Okay.
It's a wild, gory, and surprisingly funny space adventure with Jason Voorhees at the helm.
I'm right there with you. 4 hockey masks for Jason X.
What's not to love?
It's a blast from beginning to end.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll get that sequel set on Earth, too.
I would absolutely watch that Jason versus the alien life forms of Earth, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Sign me up.
That would be amazing.
But even if we never get that sequel, Jason X stands on its own as a unique and incredibly entertaining entry in the Friday the 13th franchise.
It does. It's a testament to the enduring power of the slasher genre and the iconic status of Jason Voorhees. He can be in a summer camp, a spaceship, or on another planet entirely.
Yeah.
And he's still going to be terrifying.
So for those of you who haven't seen Jason X, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a wild ride.
It is.
And it might just change your perception of what a Friday the 13th movie can be.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have seen it, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what did you think? Let us know. I think it's a film that definitely sparks debate among fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people love the over-the-top sci-fi elements,
Yeah.
while others feel like it strays too far from the classic Friday the 13th formula.
Right.
But I think that's part of what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
It's a film that takes risks and isn't afraid to try something different.
It really does.
And it definitely gives us a lot to talk about.
It does.
So before we wrap up, I wanted to get your take on something.
Right.
We've seen Jason survive all kinds of crazy things in this franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Drownings, stabbings, even being blown to bits.
Yeah. It's safe to say he's a tough one to kill.
But do you think there's anything that could truly stop him? Or is he just an unstoppable force of nature destined to keep coming back no matter what?
That's a question that has haunted fans for decades.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there a way to defeat this ultimate boogeyman? Or is he simply a reflection of our deepest fears, the things that we can never truly escape?
I think there's a reason why Jason has resonated with audiences for so long.
Yeah.
He represents something primal, something that taps into our collective anxieties.
Totally. Whether it's the fear of the unknown, the fear of violence, or the fear of our own mortality, Jason embodies those fears in a way that's both terrifying and strangely compelling.
Absolutely.
And Jason X, by taking him out of his familiar environment and throwing him into the vastness of space, amplifies those fears in a new and intriguing way.
It does.
It makes you wonder what other challenges he could face, what other environments he could conquer. Is there any limit to his adaptability, his resilience?
Those are questions that I think each viewer has to answer for themselves.
Yeah. But one thing is certain. Jason Voorhees will continue to haunt our nightmares, whether he's in a summer camp, a spaceship, or on another planet entirely.
Well said. And on that chilling note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of Jason X. We've covered a lot of ground today, from cryogenic freezing to cyborg transformations, and explored some of the deeper themes that make this film such a fascinating entry in the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yeah, we've had a blast dissecting this sci-fi slasher masterpiece.
It's been a wild ride.
And we hope you enjoyed the ride as well.
And as always, we want to hear from you. Did you love Jason X? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on Jason's cyborg upgrade?
Oh yeah, let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Your insights and perspectives always add another layer to these discussions.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the world of film.
Absolutely. We've got some exciting deep dives planned, covering everything from classic horror to groundbreaking sci-fi. So stay tuned, deep divers, and we'll see you in the next episode.